Are you using deca for muscle gain? You might want to pause and listen up. Today we're uncovering the hidden side of deca, its impact on your mood and blood sugar. Trust me, what we found will change the way you think about this popular theory. Stay tuned to discover how to balance physical gain with mental well-being and metabolic health. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Lucy and I'm here to keep Leo's research and memory alive while educating and helping people live better lives. Before we jump in, hit that like button, subscribe and ring that bell so you're not going to want to miss any single health secret we share. Today we're diving into the world of deca, also known as nandrolone decanoate, a widely used anabolic steroid in the bodybuilding community. Renowned for its impressive ability to boost muscle mass and strength, deca has become a go-to for athletes seeking physical enhancement. But it's not just about bigger muscles. Deca also influences your metabolism, playing with a complex role in how your body processes sugar and fats. And in this episode, we'll discuss two studies drawing some serious side effects of deca, and we'll start with mental health. Our journey begins with one fascinating study on deca. So according to the research published in Neuroendocrinology Letters, rat subjects with 4-week course of deca exhibited signs of increased anxiety. But the intrigue doesn't stop right there. Unlike the effect typically associated with testosterone, deca has also been linked to depressive behavior in these animals. It appears that the impact of deca extends beyond just physical enhancement and really influence emotional states. Now picture this, you're enjoying your favorite sweet treats, but suddenly it just doesn't excite you anymore. That's exactly what happened in this study. Researchers found that rats treated with deca for 4 weeks showed reduced preference in sucralose, a common sweetener. This isn't just about a shift in taste preference, it's a sign of anhedonia, which is a condition where the brain no longer finds pleasure in activities or experiences that used to be enjoyable. But there's more to the story. While SSRI, which are common antidepressants, have been found to increase sucralose preference in rats, deca does the exact opposite. This change in preference is linked to alteration in the brain reward system. Specifically, the study revealed that serotonin, noradrenaline, and dopamine level in the nucleus accumbens were all reduced in these rats. The nucleus accumbens, I think I'm pronouncing it right, is a critical area of the brain that really transmits dopamine while the animal eats sucralose. So we're seeing here how deca really affects the brain chemical balance, in particularly in areas associated with pleasure and rewards. Let's dive into the nucleus accumbens. Deca really play a significant role in it. It reduces the level of serotonin, noradrenaline, and dopamine in this area. It's like having a party without music. That's basically what happened in the brain. Your mood drops, anhedonia, the inability to feel pleasure just sets in. Now let's get into the NPY, neuropeptide Y, which is a key player in mood regulation. It's abundant in the brain and affects everything from mood to stress response. However, 6-week treatment of deca has shown in this study that it decreases the availability of neuropeptide Y neuron in the hippocampus, which is a critical area for emotion and memories. This reduction is linked to a higher key of mood disorder like depression and anxiety. Neuropeptide Y acts as a natural mood stabilizer, so when deca reduces its availability, it's like removing your brain's tool from maintaining mood balance. And this can lead to mood changes and a higher susceptibility to mood disorders. And we've seen it with many bodybuilders snapping or feeling very moody on deca. So this study also revealed that the 4-week treatment with deca can also lead to depressive and anhedonic states like we talked before. So why does deca lead to depressive and anhedonic states? This is closely linked to the kynurenine pathway activation, an alternative metabolic route for the amino acid tryptophan. Tryptophan is essential amino acid primarily broken down by the kynurenine pathway. This pathway produces neuroactive compounds, including kynurenine itself. However, there is another side of the story. Tryptophan can also be metabolized into serotonin, which is a key neurotransmitter that influences mood, happiness, and well-being. Now let's take a closer look at the design of these intriguing studies. The researcher divided 18 rats into 3 distinct groups: the control group, a deca group, and a testosterone group. Over the course of 18 days, the rats in the deca and testosterone group received injections every 3rd day. This careful scheduling allowed researchers to closely mimic the dosing pattern often seen in humans using these substances. The researcher also examined the blood level of the rats, observed their behavior, and analyzed their brain matter. Now let's look into the results of this study, which are quite fascinating. The majority of the alterations observed were specific to a critical region of the brain, the hypothalamus. This area plays a key role in regulating many of our body's essential functions. One of the standout findings was that nandrolone, more than testosterone, significantly upregulated the mRNA transcription of the oxytocin receptor gene, Oxytocin, often named for the love hormone, is known for regulating behavior like food intake and sexual activity, but its role is much more complex and far-reaching. In these studies, the rat treated with deca experienced less weight gain compared to those in the control group or those treated with testosterone. This finding really shows that nandrolone have a unique impact in the body metabolic processes. Furthermore, the studies highlighted the intricate relationship between oxytocin and dopaminergic neurons. Oxytocin's influence on behavior was found to be inhibited by haloperidol, a dopamine antagonist, and partially abolished by naloxone, an MOR antagonist. This indicates that there is a close interplay between these neurotransmitters. But interestingly, oxytocin transmission is often triggered following stressful events. It's a mechanism that helps the body cope with stress. However, in individuals with depression, increased level and activity of oxytocin receptors and neurons have been observed, which suggests that there's a complex relationship between oxytocin and mood disorder. Now, both deca and testosterone were found to upregulate the expression of neuropeptide Y receptors, specifically type 1 and 5 in the hypothalamus. Remember, neuropeptide Y is a key player in regulating food intake, among other functions. But there is a difference in how deca and testosterone influence these receptors. Deca was observed to upregulate the type 1 receptors less than the type 5 receptor compared to testosterone. The differential regulation is quite significant and point toward the unique effect of these compounds. In this study, the authors suggested that this effect is likely dependent on the androgen receptor, as it was more pronounced with nandrolone, which has a higher affinity to the androgen receptor. Interestingly, while nandrolone impacts pubic and scalp androgen receptor less due to its transformation by 5-alpha reductase into a weaker androgen, it still exerts a strong influence in the hypothalamus. This finding aligns with previous research showing that oxytocin genes in the hypothalamus are regulated by androgen receptor expressions. But now let's look into the realms of stress hormones and how they are affected by nandrolone and testosterone. Stress hormones like adrenocorticotropic hormones and corticosteroids play a pivotal role in our body's stress response. So they're like the body alarm system gearing up to face challenges. So in these studies, something intriguing was observed. The level of ACTH were found to be reduced more significantly in the group treated with nandrolone compared to the testosterone group. However, both were lower than the control group, so this reduction in ACTH indicates a dampened response in the body's stress system. The plot thickens when we look at corticosteroids level, which in the rat equivalent of cortisol in human. In the testosterone group, corticosteroid level were reduced, but in the nandrolone group, they're actually increased from the controlled baseline. This is critical finding because it suggests that deca, unlike testosterone, may increase cortisol levels from baseline. But more interestingly, and something that in the bodybuilding community is often observed, let's look at behavioral effects observed in the study, particularly concerning body weight and movement. So behavior is a window into the body internal working, especially when it comes to understanding the effect of substances like deca. In this study, an audible observation was made regarding body weight. The group treated with nandrolone, or deca, gained less body weight compared to the other group. And this finding is intriguing because it contrasts with the common perception that anabolic steroid like deca primarily promote weight gain, particularly muscle mass. But when it comes to movement, the deca group exhibited less overall activity. This reduction in movement is particularly interesting when we compare it to the previous finding on testosterone. Testosterone has been shown to potentially increase movement. Deca appear to have the exact opposite effect, decreasing it. These behavioral changes are crucial indicators. They suggest that deca might have a more profound impact on the body's energy dynamics and motivation for physical activity than previously thought. It's not just about the physical changes, but how the substance can alter behavior, movement pattern, which are essential components of overall health and well-being, but also for bodybuilders and any fitness enthusiasts. Now let's look at another critical aspect of deca's impact, blood sugar control. This topic is especially relevant in the context of growth hormone and testosterone and how they interact with our body's ability to manage glucose levels. Growth hormone, while essential for growth and metabolism, can paradoxically worsen insulin sensitivity. In extreme cases, like in acromegalic who have excessive GH, it can even lead to a full-fledged diabetes. On the other hand, physiological levels of testosterone are known to improve liposis and insulin sensitivity, which contribute to a better glucose metabolism. But here is the million-dollar question. What happens when steroids are used in supraphysiological amounts? Historical studies have pointed towards a potential worsening of glucose metabolism under this condition. To get a clearer picture, let's look at a study that specifically examined the effect of supraphysiological doses of nandrolone or deca on the rat metabolism. In this study, rats were divided into 3 groups, the control groups, a group receiving a low dose of DECA, and another group receiving a high dose. The aim was to observe how varying levels of DECA affect the body's ability to control blood sugar, which is an essential aspect of metabolic health, and something you must be aware in your fitness journey. Understanding the relationship between steroid use, particularly in dose higher than the body naturally produces, and blood sugar control is absolutely crucial. The result of this study is interesting, and it shows the impact on body composition and insulin resistance. Firstly, body composition changes were notable. DECA treatment led to an increase in muscle mass and water content. While it decreases the total fat mass, it did not significantly affect visceral fat, the fat that accumulates around your internal organ. Instead, the reduction was more pronounced in intramuscular and cutaneous fats. Now let's look into insulin resistance in muscle. The oral glucose tolerance test, or GTT, showed similar results across the group, but a key difference emerged in skeletal muscle response to insulin. The DECA-treated rats exhibited specific muscle insulin insensitivity. This finding shows that while glucose tolerance at a systemic level remained unchanged, DECA might induce insulin resistance at the muscular level. Moving on to the serum level, the study observed lower serum glucose level in the DECA group. However, serum insulin levels were high, indicating a potential direct effect of DECA in the pancreas and its insulin production. Another critical aspect is glucose production during fasting. Our bodies can produce glucose through glycolysis from glycerol from fat tissue or gluconeogenesis. The study found that DECA treatment increased glycerol levels, possibly due to increased breakdown of triglyceride or impaired gluconeogenesis. Particularly, high dose of DECA impaired gluconeogenesis from glycerol, lactates, or amino acids. Lastly, let's consider insulin resistance at the liver. Liver glycogen levels were lower in the DECA group, along with a decrease in liver glucokinase. These changes suggest a complex interplay of factors, potentially including reduced corticoid activity or thyroid activity, though the exact mechanism remained to be fully understood. But this result really painted a picture of DECA's multifaceted impact in the body metabolic process, particularly regarding muscle mass, fat distribution, and insulin sensitivity. Let's reflect on the practical takeaways and how they can relate to human experience, especially in the fitness and bodybuilding community. DECA, known for its muscle-building properties, also have a profound impact in mental health and blood sugar control. We saw that DECA can lead to depressive and anhedonic states, and this is particularly significant for bodybuilders who might be using DECA for its physical benefits. Awareness of this mood alteration is key. And if you notice changes in your mood or emotional states while using DECA, it's important to take action. Regular exercise, diet, and omega-3 and antioxidant engaging in enjoyable activity can help counteract these effects. However, if you're doing any of this and still receive any side effects and refuse to stop DECA, please inform your entourage that you are on it so they don't take things personally and they can try to calm you down. Supplementation can also play a role. Natural mood supporters like Syndrome Worth, SAM-E, or 5-HTP might offer some relief for DECA-induced mood changes. However, always consult a healthcare professional before starting any new regimen. I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. For the physical health front, so DECA impacts blood sugar control, and it cannot be ignored. Please monitor regularly your blood sugar level and incorporate insulin sensitizing supplements like metformin, but under medical guidance, that can be beneficial. Adjust your diet and exercise routine just to improve your insulin sensitivity can also be crucial. For those experiencing persistent mood changes or severe side effects, professional help is essential. Sometimes you need to take a break from DECA and adjust the dosage. It can also help reset your body's response. So we are done diving into the DECA world and DECA side effects. Bodybuilders and fitness enthusiasts, it's crucial to balance the pursuit of physical gains with maintaining an overall health and well-being. And remember, we have lost too many people in the bodybuilding and fitness community over the last couple of years, and sometimes building muscle is just not worth the trade-off. Thank you for joining me in this journey through the world of DECA. Let me know in the comment below. Have you tried DECA? How did you feel? What was your experience? Did you have any side effects? I'd like to know. Thank you everyone for watching. Until next time, stay curious and stay well.